Good morning, good afternoon, good night to wherever you are in the world. Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. Please like, subscribe, become a member to the channel, and leave that donation for that fried rice and chicken wings. Look, let's go ahead and jump right into it. The A-side drama strikes. We talked about this during the live last night. But let's just get right into it because everyone is still hitting me up saying, hey, well, we don't understand the A-side stuff. It looks like Claressa is ducking, looks like Alycia Baumgardner is ducking. And I'm just here to tell you, neither one putting duck sauce on the fried rice. You just have two women who are the A-sides. Claressa's the A-side. Alycia Baumgardner, she's the A-side. And as the A-side, it has some meaning. And as a result, it gives a person who has the A-side, it gives them power, gives them leverage, gives them control. People got to understand when you're the A-side, as far as that term, the A-side, it's not just about skill. You know what I'm saying? The A-side is the fighter who sells the most tickets, drives pay-per-view numbers, has a bigger name recognition, brings a bigger audience. So when you think about that and you just kind of just lay that across Claressa, lay it across Shadasia, lay it across Baumgardner, lay it across Dubois. You just kind of spread it across those four ladies. You just think, who sells the most tickets? Claressa and Shadasia. And then Baumgardner and Dubois. Then from there, you just start spreading who drives the pay-per-view numbers, who has the bigger name recognition, who brings a bigger audience. So when you spread it across them, it's pretty obvious who's the A-side. Now, in simple terms, A-side, look, that's just the business engine, all right? B-side is the opportunity seeker. The A-side typically controls everything. So when people are here getting frustrated that, well, damn, Baumgardner is going to make Dubois wait, or Claressa wants to have the fight in Detroit, that's just kind of how it goes, folks. It may not be what you want to hear, but that's what it is. The A-side controls fight location, purse split, promotion style, negotiating terms, even sometimes the weight and timing. But remember, the A-side is the business engine. B-side is the opportunity seeker. If you want the opportunity, you got to almost succumb to everything that the A-side wants. So the bottom line is these women out here, not just the four we're talking about, all women and men too, they got to put that work in, man. Because becoming the A-side is the ultimate position when it comes to boxing. You don't chase fights. Fights chase you when you're the A-side. When you, like Mayweather say, I'm the cash cow. When you the cash cow, when you the draw, people chase you. Now, as far as Claressa Shields, she's the A-side. She's a multi-division, undisputed champion, got the gold medals. She's really the face of women's boxing right now. She is. And I know some people out there don't want to hear that. I mean, look, it's just being real. Claressa is the face of maybe men and women's boxing. She's all over the damn place. She's built, a strong resume. She has a loud personality. It looks like they're trying to work on that a little bit, which I think that's good. And she has a brand that attracts attention, whether it's good attention, bad attention, she's attracting attention. And as a result, she's not going to come out here and ask anybody anything. She's going to tell these women, this is what it's going to be. It's like when she came into the chat when I was fishing yesterday and she told me, Shadasia's next. And it's going to be in Detroit. And I was like, well, that doesn't seem fair. She was like, well, if I say it's going to be on the if it's going to be on the goddamn moon, she better meet me on the moon. And that made me laugh my ass off because that's Claressa 100%. But the thing is, she has a point. She's not going to come and talk about anything. She's going to tell these opponents. And even though, of course, I like both of them as fighters. What they do in the ring, I respect both of them. But everyone knows I'll be rooting for Shadasia. I think Shadasia has a great opportunity here. But at the end of the day, even Shadasia will tell you, she knows she can't really dictate nothing to damn Claressa Shields. You know what I'm saying? I'll say this. To some people, it seems like, she doesn't want to negotiate evenly. And I understand that. But again, she dictates the terms. So when Claressa says, fight me in Detroit, that's not a suggestion. That's A-side authority. You know what I'm saying? Detroit represents convenience for her, a level of comfort. Her hometown is Flint, but Detroit, you can kind of say that's, I say her home state. She has her fan base there, and probably the strongest financial leverage. Now, of course, we could talk about New York, Vegas, all that. I don't know. But all I do know is for Claressa and what she seems to be comfortable with, that's what she's going to push, and that's what she's probably going to get. Now, Shadasia, she's in a tough spot. She's talented, she's dangerous, she's hungry. But she's not the A-side. You know what I mean? If she beats Claressa, she becomes the A-side. But it puts her in a difficult position because she wants the biggest fight. She came on the channel. She said, I want Claressa. I want that fight. I mean, there was nothing to misinterpret. You know what I'm saying? She shot that statement straight down the pipe. I want the fight. But she doesn't control the terms. You know what I mean? So when Claressa says fight in Detroit, Shadasia has to think, damn, I want to fight in New York. But then what do I do here? Because I want the fight. I don't want to miss out the fight. But do I accept less control for more opportunity? Because although I don't have control over this stuff, there's the opportunity for me to get in the ring and beat her. And if I beat her, then I become the face of women's boxing. And I get all the control. And there'll probably be a rematch, which will be even more interest, even more money. But this is the reality of boxing. The B side often has to bend to get the shot. Now, Shadasia just may have to accept all this, and I know some fans don't want to hear that. She just may have to accept all this. The fight could change her career overnight, bring her the biggest payday, I'm hearing $1.5 million, and put her on the global stage. So even if the location favors Claressa, the crowd is against her, the terms aren't ideal, she may still say yes, because the opportunity means more and should be greater than her being comfortable. And this is just how boxing works. You don't always get fairness. But when you do get chances, you have to seize them. And once you seize the chance, you have to capitalize on the opportunity. You miss 100% of shots you don't take. And a scared man can't win. A scared woman can't win either. So Shadasia, don't be surprised, folks. If they make the fight and at the press conference, Shadasia brings up, well, I had to kind of accept or give in to your demands and I had to do this. It's because Claressa's the A side. But fans are already feeling frustration, and trust me, you're going to get even more frustrated because fans see and think, why can't it just be 50-50? Why does one fighter control everything? And I understand it. I'm a boxing fan too. Fans want fair fights. They want neutral settings. They want pure competition. But boxing is not just about sport. You know what I mean? Boxing is a business. The downside of the A-side system. It can feel unfair. It can delay fights. It can create mismatches. So the A-side is a great position to be in, but there's some downsides for the people who aren't. And that's what fans sit back watching, and sometimes they don't quite understand. Now, talking about the A-side. Claressa's the A-side, but Alycia Baumgardner is also the A-side. She got star power, championship status. She has marketability. She built herself into a recognizable brand, and MVP has taken her and continuing to build her. Same way they're doing that with Shadasia. But Baumgardner is a headline fighter. So when she tells Caroline Dubois, hey, listen, puppy, when we fight when I say it, that's pretty damn clear cut to me. And that again, like Claressa, that's that A-side energy. You know what I'm saying? Baumgardner doesn't have to do anything. She's the top dog. Now, as far as Caroline Dubois, she is not a matter of she may have to wait. She has to wait. She has to wait. Caroline Dubois, at this point, she brings nothing to the table. Is she rising fast? Yes. Unified champion? Yes. Highly skilled? Yes. Got the momentum? Yes. Yes, she has it all, man. But at the end of the day, she's not at the stage Baumgardner's at. Baumgardner should be looking for big fights, big money, bigger names. She should. But all Dubois has to do, keep growing her name, expanding her fan base. Because that means she doesn't have... she needs to do that because all this means is she doesn't have full leverage yet to come and demand anything. But if she keeps talking the talk and walking the walk, she gets closer and closer. And it's at a point where even Baumgardner said, yeah, hey, look, I'll fight you. I'm going to fight you when I say so. So at the end of the day, the reality for the Caroline Dubois fans is that, Caroline is going to have to wait. And it's just the business versus the hype. Boxers deal with the business. Fans create the hype. From a fan perspective, we're like, yo, make the fight now. But I think most of these fights should get made immediately because you just don't know what can happen. Somebody walk outside and get sick, or they can have another fight and lose. You just don't know. So that's how I feel as a fan. Make the fight now. But as someone who's in an A-side position like Claressa Shields or Baumgardner, they're more like, yo, let's maximize the moment. And at the same time, you're going to do things when I say. But when you look at Alycia is probably, her and her team have probably already talked and said, yo, because they both on MVP. And, Jake Paul called it it's a family affair or something like that, making a joke. But Alycia, I'm sure she's thinking, her and her team, yo, bigger payday later. It's going to be a much bigger, let's continue to build this up, give it a big build up. And when we do come together, it's going to put us in a bigger spotlight. So delaying the fight becomes a strategic move. It's not fear. But people are going to say what they say because they're already saying that, oh, Baumgardner's scared. Baumgardner, she's not scared. What she's doing is what a lot of fighters have done. When you're at a certain point, you move up the ladder, you don't reverse. You know what I'm saying? And it's the same thing with the opposition. You continue moving up the ladder. You don't reverse and go after a lower payday, a lesser payday. You want to get the most money possible. So, but some people are sitting back listening. They're like, yo, hood champion, we hear you, but this sounds like a double standard in boxing. When the A side delays, it's called business. But if the B side pushes, it's called begging for a shot. I mean, I hear you, and that's true. It creates tension. Fighters against fighters, fans against promoters, expectation versus reality. It just all around is a whole lot of tension. And it builds drama. It builds a lot of drama, which is good. It's good because the more drama, the more attention. And ironically, the A-side system creates tension, it creates frustration, and it creates a huge debate. That's why we always out here talking about boxing. And what does that lead to? If you ask him, it leads to bigger fights. Because when the fight finally happens, emotions are higher, stakes are bigger, fans are more invested. So, at the end of the day, look, being the A side is a reward for success, a tool for control. You have to earn that. But remember, being the A side comes with criticism, pressure, expectations. Now with the B side, that shit can feel unfair, and it often it is. But it's also the doorway to something bigger, better, and greater. So that's one way to look at it. Anyway, big picture talking, Claressa versus Shadasia, I think that's skill versus power, but also hunger versus hunger. Claressa's still hungry. Shadasia's very hungry. So when the two of them get in there, man, they're going to go at it. Baumgardner and Dubois, you got a star against a rising star. When they get together, it's going to be action. Same story in both fights, though. The A side controls the win, which is Alycia and Claressa. The B side chases the chance, Shadasia and Dubois. It is what it is. Straight, no chaser. It's our reality. I just hope they make Claressa and Shadasia next. Does sound like that's the next fight. And it makes sense. And you may say, how you know that? Because the person in the chat who comes in here. I know who that is. And they're telling me what's going on. So I appreciate that. They want me to put out the right information. So that's the word. Anyway, we'll see if what they're saying really does happen, but it sounds like Claressa and Shadasia is going to happen next. Shadasia just has to win, and she has to have some sense when it comes to negotiations, and the fight gets made. And with Baumgardner and Dubois, I mean, we could just stop holding your breath on that fight. It probably won't happen for another year, maybe more. Who knows? To me, Dubois should be out here trying to become undisputed. I understand what Alycia Baumgardner is saying. You know what I mean? I 100% understand her. I'm not lying. And let me see if I have it here. Let me see something. Because I understand what Baumgardner's saying. But there's something here that some people don't realize yet. Where is it? They didn't hear what she had to say. But what she said was right. I agree with all the women. I'll put it to you that way. I understand they all some want to fight, some want to get the timing right. I mean, I get it. But Baumgardner came out here and she said some stuff that really got my attention. Let me see something. I did a YouTube short on it. Maybe I'll pull that up and just say, oh, I got it right here. Shit, I'm tripping. Y'all need to hear this shit what Baumgardner said. She wasn't playing around, and I can't blame her for shooting it straight. You know what I'm saying? Where is it? Right here.
You had every opportunity to get Terry out of there. You didn't do that. That was your opportunity to say, hey, Alycia, what's up? That shit didn't move me. That shit motivated me to go work out because this is who y'all comparing me to? This is who y'all want me to fight? Please stop. Please stop with that. It's not even that. Caroline is not on my level. I never duck no smoke from nobody. She's not the biggest fight to make next. I know who I want, and I've been very vocal about who I want. I got my fight April 17th, and then I'm going to be fighting again this year, and it's not Caroline. She's not the big fight to make. When we talk about making big fights, when we talk about main event, when we talk about putting people in seats, here, it ain't her. And like I said again, nobody's ducking nobody. I don't care to beat her ass. I'll put her in the dirt for y'all if that's what you want. She a young girl, but I could never be scared of a C-level person. This is the same girl going around asking how she can beat me, like on some real shit. Like I get it. They want a name to build off of, and that's the name that they're choosing to do. Me. We need Alycia because that's the fight that is perfect to build off of. No, go put some skin in the game. Go put some skin in the game. Go do what I did. I became undisputed at 130, okay? All the belts. Didn't have nothing handed to me. I'm now email champ. I beat the champ to be the champ. Let's get that shit right. Don't come over here with all that yah. I'm telling you, I'm going to fight you, but it ain't going to be when you want it to be. That's the difference. Baby, I'm the top dog. Top earned. Stop playing. Like, listen, I gotta let y'all know on the chat because some of y'all just be talking just to talk. This another thing. I'm at 130 pounds. I'm at super featherweight. That is my weight class. Have I moved up to 135? No, I have not. So why are you calling me out? You got other 3 girls who have belts at your weight class. Why are you worried about becoming undisputed? You worry about AB because you want my name. You want to eat off my name. No, bitch. Not gonna work. Go put some skin in the game. You think you teaming up with the ops is gonna get you fired up? You think you going around asking people how to beat me? You're not gonna beat me. You can't beat me because I'm better than you at all things. That's the difference. And when that happens, everybody who's talking, you're gonna see. And that's all I can say. You can believe me. You don't have to believe me. You can fuck with me. You don't gotta fuck with me. You can be a fan, not a fan. I don't care about none of that. At the end of the day, The real always rise, baby. Period. That fugazi goofy shit, that shit sink to the bottom. So that's what that is.
Oh, that's good. Listen to Dubois.
By the end of this year, we need to make that fight happen. The biggest fight in women's boxing. I want that fight. I want Alycia. I want her next.
Caroline, congratulations tonight. It's funny, obviously, you're speaking about Alycia Baumgardner. She has been on Twitter today, clowning the performance, the fact you didn't get a stoppage, she got a stoppage.
Yeah, she's a drug cheat. I have never in my life failed a drugs test, and it wasn't just a light little weight loss drug, a light little, any of that. It was a serious muscle performance enhancing developing drug, and you can say what you want, but look at Alycia post failing that drug and pre-failing. She was explosive, she was powerful, she was dangerous. Then what happened? She failed that drug test and she hasn't looked the same since. She can say what she wants. I have never failed a drug test in my life and I never will. I'm not a drug cheat. I don't need drugs. I don't need performance enhancing drugs to be confident in the ring. I stepped into that ring 100% authentically natural. She can't say the same. She cannot say the same. She can say all she wants, but she's failed a drug test for a reason. She is a fucking cheat.
So there you go. I'll end it with that. Boy, oh boy, they need to make these fights. That's why I said, make the fight now. But man, as long as they keep winning, the build-up is going to be amazing. Y'all keep cool. I'm in the breeze.